that's what it was. It was just the first year getting all the kinks out, kind of figuring out how to promote the product. I think it's gonna be continue to be better. It's gonna be similar to the playing tournament where it'll just get better every year.
Oh, they're definitely gonna keep it because
they have to
generated money. It's it's something that people are talking about in the first half, not the first half, really the first quarter of the season, which never really gets any buzz really until Christmas time. So of course they're gonna keep it. They just need to do a better job.
I think they will. What's really good, everyone? Welcome back to another Friday Night Live of the Opinionated Ones as part of the Sanchez Show. As always, Roman Brownlee, Will Gordon. I am Eric Sanchez. We are the Opinionated Ones. We got Week 14 NFL picks. We got our thoughts on the in-season tournament. We're going to get Will situated here. I think he got a little connection issue, so we're going to bring him in on the other one here. But comment section booming. Fellas, y'all ready to go?
I can't take Will serious with this Gary.
Well, I don't know if Will got the memo. Apparently, Jordan Poole setting more records. He getting punched in the face again.
Yeah, I can't.
Who smacked him up this time?
From what Vern sent me yesterday,
was it Coos? Was it Coos? You got knocked out by a dude to wear an oversized pink sweater.
Yeah, Jordan Poole is becoming a punching bag literally right now. Let's get to the comment section though, because the comment section is buzzing. Fellas, I have your picks as well for Week 14. So depending on time, we'll probably go through them pick by pick as we normally do. But if not, I'll make sure I scroll them across the bottom of the screen so that everyone can see who we pick. Let's start with Kyrie Thompson. Kyrie, I think you're on the streak. There's like 4 straight weeks Kyrie's been the first comment in here.
Kyrie, what up, Kyrie?
Football related. Can the Bengals contend for a wild card spot? Vern, go ahead, man.
No, I don't think so. I know everyone, I guess, impressed with Jake Browning, but let's be real. The Jaguars, when we look at how they play, it's they can beat, I guess, the AFC South, but when they get out of the division, they just shaky. Like the Jaguars to me are just like a weird team. They're not consistent. So I don't think you can take what Jake Browning did against that team and say, okay, they're going to go on a roll and they're going to be good and they're going to be great. Jake Browning, like all backup quarterbacks, they're going to regress. It's going to take some time to get some tape on him. He might play okay against the Colts this week, but after that, you're going to see a regression to the mean. And I don't think they're going to compete for a wild card spot. I feel like the AFC is kind of loaded there. So, and the Steelers going back on track. I don't think they can compete for a wild card spot realistically.
It did. Sunshine get hurt for most of that game?
Sunshine got knocked out in the third quarter of that
game. 28-28.
Third quarter? Okay.
Yeah, so they would have probably won that game, but yeah.
What you think, Will? Can they contend for a wild card spot?
Absolutely not. They don't have enough on the defensive side of the ball, more importantly. They don't have enough at the quarterback position. And outside of T. Higgins, they don't really have like a reliable receiver. Joe Mix is a nice piece, but he needs everybody else.
I gotta stop you. They got a pretty good guy out of LSU.
Oh, I mean, yeah. What's his name?
Man. He's pretty good. He is pretty good on the other side.
Yeah. What's his name?
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, Chase. But when you ain't got nobody delivering you the ball, and I think he has a better relationship with Higgins than Chase. And I really, for that receiving core to be effective, I think I need Tyler Boyd to step up in that slot, which I have not seen at all season. You can stack the box on this team now without the deep threat. And like I said, on the defensive end of the ball, they really not making any noise. That division isn't the greatest right now with Pittsburgh floundering, and then you've got Cleveland. That's a question mark. The defense is solid, but they have no more Deshaun Watson there. But can you take advantage of the opportunities that's in front of you? I don't see the prowess of them being able to take care of those advantages in front of them. So I'm really kind of down on Cincinnati. I think it's a wrap for them.
Hey, is Joe Burrow coming back? He's not coming back, right?
No, he's done for the season.
I guess I thought he's done for the season. Yeah.
Joe's done for the season. They're in a very tough spot because to end out the season, yes, they're 6-6 right now. Their last 5 games, aside from this week against the Colts, I think they're going to be underdogs against everybody else they face.
Not the Vikings.
Well, who knows though? Because
I don't know. That line might change based on how this week goes. If they lose this week against the Colts, I think they're without a doubt underdogs.
They're going
especially with Justin Jefferson coming back.
Yeah, Jefferson.
If he's 100%, and Josh Dobbs is, I mean, he's not a world beater, but he's not a complete bum.
Okay, all right.
He's not a complete bum. You know what I'm saying?
We'll get to that later.
I wouldn't listen. I'll just say this though. Like I said, their last 5 games, they're probably going to be underdogs in 4 of those 5. After this Colts game, you got the Vikings game, you got the Chiefs, you got the Browns, you got the Steelers. Everybody they face, including the Colts this week, is either 500 or better. So that means all those other teams are competing for playoff spots. I think the biggest deterrent to the Bengals getting a wild card spot is their record within the conference. They're 2-6 within the AFC. So not only do they have to jump some other teams that are in front of them, they got to hope those teams start to lose and come back down.
Yeah,
in terms
exactly.
In terms of record-wise. So it's a lot of moving parts. That's why I don't think they'll get in again. When you're 2-6 within the conference, I think right now they got 4 games left in the conference. The best they're going to be is 6-6 within the AFC. If they were to run the table, they would have to run the table to be 6-6 within the AFC. I don't think they run the table, so I don't see that happening. Shout out to Derek Thompson. I don't know if you and Kyrie related, though, but shout out to Derek. Who deserves to be the AFC favorite? I'm going to start this one off, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to say the Ravens. I think the Ravens have been the most consistent team over the last 2 months. I think they're playing the best offensively and defensively. Now, granted, it's completely wide open, and I would not bet against Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game. But if you're telling me as of today, December 8th, who's the best team, I'm going to say the Ravens. Will?
Well, are you saying the best team or who's the favorite? Those are different things.
All right. As of today, the favorite to me would be who's playing the best. It's the Ravens.
Okay, fair.
Man, listen, in the AFC, and I know they haven't beaten a winning team yet, but them Dolphins out here, they doing things, man. These Dolphins are doing things, and they've got arguably 2 MVP candidates on their team, in Tyreek, and people don't want to admit it, but in Tua. These dudes, they out there balling, man. I mean, they can only play their schedule. You know what I'm saying? These boys are putting up numbers. It's a track meet every week. And I'm not worried about the whole they haven't beaten a winning team. All you can play is what's in front of you, right? But I think, man, I think they got the recipe to survive and advance, especially the way the game is officiated right now. It's a track meet with the Dolphins, especially if they can get home field. Man, it could be a problem. That could be a problem in Miami.
Vern, what you think?
Me, I understand what Will is saying, and I think having Jalen Ramsey back it will play a big role. Because remember, you got to think with an offense like that, if they can just get one more defensive stop, per half, that can go far from them. But to me, it got to until something changes, it got to be the Chiefs. Everyone talking about that playoff grit is different. I think when the Dolphins play somebody and it's 25 degrees outside, it might be snowing. All that track speed, how fast you are. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but you regress closer to the mean, right? Like if you're telling me, okay, Tyreek Hill, now you got to go play it. The ground ain't that great. 25 degrees outside. Miami, you're going to travel to Kansas City now. That's a completely different ball game at that time of the year. We saw like earlier it was snowing out there. So I'm gonna still go with the Chiefs for right now. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson hasn't played well in a playoff game ever. So until someone can show me that they can play well when it truly matters, I'm gonna have to keep the Chiefs, and I think this week they get back on track with the Bills. So we'll see.
But when you say that about the Chiefs, though, would they be in position to play at home, or would they be going to Miami at this point?
Nah, Chiefs gonna win a division.
The Chiefs are still in great spot to be the number 1 seed. I mean, there's only a 1-game difference between Miami and Kansas City, and Kansas City got the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So
the schedule gets a little weird. They can play the Cowboys.
But guess who's used to playing in Kansas City? The most important player on Miami's team.
Yeah, but I don't. I'll say this. Well, I think. Will, you did make a great point. If the Dolphins are the number 1 seed and they make everybody come through Miami, I think that's a big advantage for them. Because I don't think their offense is built to have to go to Baltimore or Kansas City come playoff time. When the game is going to slow down a little bit, when it's going to be a little more physical, and when the surface isn't going to be like really a benefit to them. When they got to play on a harder surface where it's like, we really can't really air it out. We're going to have to ground and pound a little bit more. Also, I think their record is indicative of that. They're 5-0 at home. They're 4-3 on the road. So they're not a team that really travels well. They want everything to come through Miami. Tyreek is used to playing in Kansas City, but Tua isn't. Jalen Waddle isn't. Most in the running back aren't. Like the rest of those guys that need to play well aren't ready. I don't think ready to play in that environment. If they make everybody come through Miami, as you mentioned, I think it's a completely different scenario. They can turn it into a track meet on their own turf. But somewhere else, I could see them slowing down a little bit, and then it becomes a game of can their defense hold up a little bit. Only time will tell. I'm not mad at it, though, because I think Miami has looked great, and I don't want to hold it against them who they lost to, because a lot of those losses were early in the season, and they probably should have beat Kansas City on a neutral site when they played in Germany. They shut out Kansas City in the second half of that game, so I'm not going to overlook that part of it either. It's not like Kansas City was up and down the field on them. Kansas City scored their 21 points in the first half and then got shut out in the second half of that game. So Miami seemed like they was ready for that challenge. Wait and see on that one.
Last game of the season, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills. Gonna be interesting how they finish.
Absolutely. The next couple weeks, like I said, the next couple weeks will be very interesting because even with Kansas City losing on Sunday night, they're only 1 game back. And really, I mean, Jacksonville, obviously we got to see what happens with Trevor Lawrence. Jacksonville's in a completely different scenario because Jacksonville might not even win the division if Trevor Lawrence is out for too long. With the way the Colts and the way the Texans are playing, both those teams are only a game back. Either one of them could take over that division within the next week or two. But
yeah, if Trevor Lawrence misses the next 2 weeks, then I could see that whole division getting flipped upside down.
Yeah, it completely changes everything in the South. Miami 9-3, Ravens 9-3, Kansas City 8-4. Like I said, 1 game is separating those 3 teams for the top spot in the AFC. Derek wants to know, how did you fellas do last week with the picks? I didn't total up everybody else, but I did have them going across the bottom of the screen, so I'll look back. I know last week I went 8-5. The big ones that hurt me last week was the 2 primetime games because I did have the Chiefs and I did have the Jaguars. Both of those lost. Yeah, going into the primetime games, I was 8-3. I was looking great, and then those kind of brought me back down.
I said, Eric Parlay. I said, Eric, I'm looking good, ain't I? And in the last 2 games, just.
That's what I'm saying. I had a 4-team. I had a 5-team actually with those 2 teams involved that looked great going in.
It was both locked into the last.
Yeah, we was locked in going into Sunday night. Like, oh, we in great shape. Wrong.
I don't even know who I had last week, man. I don't be knowing.
Will, you probably had the most accurate prediction of the week though, because you almost predicted the Dolphins score of the Commanders to a T.
Yeah, I almost had that thing locked down. Yeah, I was off by like 5 points on the total.
Yeah, so that might have been one of the, like I said, the most accurate. George wants to know, should we give Mike Tomlin a pass? Is the Tomlin era near its end? Vern.
No.
Let Vern go.
First of all, give him a pass for what? He hasn't had a losing season
ever.
So we're going to give him a pass. Because his quarterback sucks, and then the quarterback that sucks gets injured for a quarterback that's even worse that comes in. Give him a pass for him figuring out how to engineer wins with their being gained pretty much every week. What would we give him a pass for? I don't understand what people want from this dude. Like, the dude does not lose. They got to kind of figure out their quarterback situation, but despite of a below average quarterback, they are a competitive team. I mean, I want
every year.
So the Commanders can hire him. So please. Do us all. Hey, do us all a favor and fire that man. I mean, it might be near the end. It might be almost like an Andy Reid situation in Philly, where it's like, you know, it just gets old after a while. That's fine. I take him here. Now you're talking about Bill Belichick? Hell no. But you talking about Mike Tomlin coming here? Oh, sign me up, gay.
Well, I'm sure Will would take Mike Tomlin with the Chargers as well.
Oh, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. See, and that the question that Tomlin's getting questions and not Bill Belichick. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a bigger question mark than Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's a dude that has never had a losing season. He's been the coach at Pittsburgh, 17, 18 years now?
Yeah.
And all he does is win. Even when you don't expect him to, he does. And now, it's not like he wins 12 games every year or something like that. But when you over 500 every year, despite the injuries, the
crazy injuries,
the turnover, like that's unheard of in professional sports to be that consistent. You know what I mean? So George, I think the question should be more about Bill Belichick, who's not won a damn thing without Tom Brady, than about Mike Tomlin. Like why is the spotlight on Tomlin when Belichick ain't done it? He's below 500 without Tom Brady. Way below. And look at this season. I mean, yeah, they just beat Pittsburgh. That's an anomaly to me.
Trubisky starting. I mean, good night. I mean,
yeah. So I think, do I give Tomlin a pass? Absolutely. He's one of the most consistent forces in NFL history, and we need to recognize that.
Yeah.
Now, I put.
Go ahead, Will.
Now, like I said, I put a whole bunch of people in front of him as far as should they get a pass, and they shouldn't. Like right now, even though they did just beat Pittsburgh. Like I look at Bill Belichick and I'm like, yo, was it really about Tom this whole time? Now the one thing he can point to is the year that Tom Brady got hurt in the first game. Yeah. And then Matt Castle, he took Matt Castle to 10 wins. They didn't make the playoffs, but that was a weird year. You know what I'm saying? Usually 10 wins to get you in. That's the one saving grace for Bill Belichick to me, because outside of him, if you go back to Cleveland when he was head coach there, and then if you go to New England as head coach without Tom Brady, he's not been exceptional. He's not been impressive at all. So do I think Tomlin should get a pass? Absolutely. He's the most consistent coach we've seen in years, and he won us. You know what I'm saying? And ain't too many of us out here. So I think he should be able to write his own ticket. Like if Pittsburgh wants to be done with him, shame on them. But he won't be. Like say if Pittsburgh was to part ways. Well, actually, they don't part ways with black coaches. They fire them. That's the way it's reported. You know what I'm saying? When the white coach gets fired, they parted ways. They mutually parted ways. But if Mike Tomlin was to get dismissed, it would be he was fired. But if he was fired, he'd be hired within 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? So
they're not getting rid of Mike Tomlin. They're not getting rid of Mike Tomlin.
They better not. They better not. Because what's the alternative? What's the alternative if you get rid of Mike Tomlin? Who are you going to replace with a better coach?
This is a social media creation. This headline about Mike Tomlin is all social media based. There's never been one report coming out of Pittsburgh that they flirted with the idea of getting rid of Mike Tomlin. But because social media wants this turnover of coaches and movement, they've created, well, he ain't won a Super Bowl in this amount of years. Well, he ain't won a playoff game in this amount of years. It don't matter. He is taking less than average talent and having winning seasons every year. So Mike Tomlin, I don't want to say we're giving him a pass because there's no pass to give him. He's winning football games.
And can we talk about the personalities he's had to deal with in his tenure?
Oh, yeah. AB, Le'Veon Bell, Big
AB, Le'Veon, Juju. Like you've had to deal with all these divas, and you're still consistently winning football games.
I mean, Listen, they're 7-6. If they find a way to win 2 of their last 5 games, it's another winning season. With Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky playing for you again. So
and he was the coach when Ben was in the bathroom. Let's not forget about that.
of course. But I'm just saying, to me, I don't even look at it as giving him a pass because there is no pass to give. If you're winning football games, why are we're not giving you a pass.
You've earned it.
Right. Show me the person who expected this team to compete for a playoff spot this year. Show me the person who thought this team could win 9 or 10 games this year. Because unless you were in that Pittsburgh area, there was nobody who was predicting that this team was going to compete for a playoff spot.
Nope.
So I don't think it's anything about a pass or even the end of a Tomlin era. He hasn't had a losing season. Even if he does have a losing season, even if they lose the last 5 of this year, he still has earned enough credit there to come back next year and try to fix whatever issues they have. I don't think they're going to lose their last 5. I think they're going to find a way to win 2 of these last 5 and have another winning season. And as we've seen every year for the last 6 years when they've had bad quarterback play, because let's not forget, even at the end of that Ben Roethlisberger era, that was bad quarterback play that they were having. Somehow, week 17, Pittsburgh is playing with a playoff spot on the line. Mike Scott will get you the whole season and get you down to the last week of the season playing for a playoff spot. They're going to be in the same position again. I'm going to get to some of these comments real quick that are coming through right now. Shout out to Pooh. Pooh, we love the support. She said it's great to see Will and Vern on time. That's growth. We trying, Pooh. We appreciate it.
Pooh, come on. Give me more credit. Like, I just be late sometimes because of connection issues or whatnot, you know.
Shout out to my man King Mac. He said 2 ain't win a big game, and I'm a Dolphins fan. He hasn't won a big game, but he also doubled down. We were talking about the whole you play who's in front of you. Yeah, but the good teams are who you playing when it matters. Absolutely. But listen, at the end of the day, you're still the number 1 seed right now in the AFC. He's gotten you to where you need to be, and you hope that maybe you turn the corner as the competition gets better. Ron, I love that question, but we're gonna get to that in a second when we get to basketball. Quarter, man. When Steelers get that right quarterback, the league is gonna see how amazing of a coach Tomlin is. He hasn't had a stable quarterback in a bit. That's average. Pickett ain't the answer. Trubisky ain't it. Just wait. I mean, they've been waiting for.
Who said that?
Gary. Shout out to Gary Blankenship.
Oh, the homie. That's the homie right there.
The Steelers should trade us a first-round pick for Sam Howell.
Listen, nobody's higher on Sam Howell than you, Vern. You're the only person that's high on Sam Howell right now.
I'm just saying.
Vern is that. Listen, don't get it confused.
Sam Howell is Mitch Trubisky.
Listen,
that's a lateral move right there.
Will, don't get it confused. Vern is that guy in your Madden league who be trying to trade you guys that you know is not it, but he be like, nah, look at his throwing power. Look at his throwing power.
Sam Howell.
Like, we don't want him. Nobody wants that dude. Hey,
Vern, Sam Howell is Mitch Trubisky, bro. You just gotta, bro. Sam Howell is not him.
Hey, we'll go.
Y'all so used to seeing trash playing quarterbacks that y'all anointing Sam Howell. God damn, that's sad.
Don't talk to me if your quarterback can't score a touchdown in the game. So we can leave that. Don't talk to me if your quarterback.
No, hold on. We're not going.
We want to do this.
Listen, hold on.
Are we doing the Justin Herbert versus Sam effing Howell?
We're not.
Please. Okay. Good.
We're not doing a drawn out debate on Sam Howell and Justin Herbert. We're not doing it. It's a waste of time.
Because that's insanity. That's insanity.
It's a waste of time. But this question.
That's like Ruth's Chris versus Hardee's.
Listen, this question right now. Vern, brought this one up because I like this one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kavon. What would it take for Purdy to win MVP?
Monty's already favored, so it seemed like they just got to keep winning games. But Purdy should not be MVP. Like, I don't understand. If Purdy wins MVP this year, really almost if any quarterback wins MVP this year, what that tells me is no other positional group is going to win MVP. You have Christian McCaffrey, who's, scored a touchdown almost every game except for, I think, one this season. He had multiple games with multiple TDs.
Well, like 18 straight?
Right. You got
something like that?
Yeah, it's 18, something crazy. I think it was even more than that, Will. Tyreek Hill has is going to go over 2,000 yards, and his team is the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, I think the biggest indictment is when he didn't have Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel, Brock Purdy threw for under 100 yards in the game. The next game was like straight trash, and everyone's like, see, we told you exactly who he is. He's pretty much Jimmy G, blah blah blah. And he gets his players back. He starts, I guess, having more yards, etc. But are we watching the same games? A lot of bubble screens, a lot of yards after the catch. Like, his players are wide open too. Like, he's not like he's making these amazing reads. To be honest with you, put any court, like, if you put Justin Herbert with the San Francisco 49ers, they would have just as many games, as many wins, or more. Probably, to be honest with you.
They probably would be undefeated.
That's what I'm saying. So,
and Kyle Shanahan's going to scheme the shit out of some offense.
That's what I'm saying. With Kyle Shanahan, Justin Herbert, they go undefeated.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no way he should be. I mean, I guess if they just keep winning games, they would. They'll give it to the quarterback, but he just ain't MVP quality to me. Just ain't.
Will, what you think? What would it
He
take?
doesn't deserve. It would take him to throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns to finish out the season every game. He's got too much help around him, and he's not the reason that they are successful. I think the reason that they are successful as a team is Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and that defense. That defense, you got some game records on that defensive side of the ball. You got at least 3.
Of course. This is the problem with social media. And Kavon, I'm not taking a shot at you. You're asking a legitimate question because this is what's been circulating through the news cycle this past week. This is a question that has been created by social media. First of all, Brock Purdy, how are you the MVP of the league when you're not the MVP of your own team? Christian McCaffrey is the MVP of that team. Christian McCaffrey right now, with 5 games left, is over 1,000 yards rushing and on the cusp of 500 yards receiving. When this is all said and done, Christian McCaffrey could possibly have over 2,000 total purpose yards, all-purpose yards for the year. That's the MVP of this team. And if you want to take the next step down, then it's Deebo Samuel. Because Deebo Samuel might be the toughest receiver to game plan for. Not the best receiver in the league, but the toughest receiver to game plan for because you don't know if he's going to be split out wide, in the slot, in the backfield. They do so many different things, shout out to Kyle Shanahan, with Deebo, that he's very tough to game plan for. Brock Purdy has done his job. I'm not knocking Brock Purdy. He's done what's been asked of him. But there's no way you can be the MVP of the league when you are not even the MVP of your own team. He is not the MVP.
I don't think he's in the top 5, bro.
On his own team? No.
On his own team. Because when you talk about McCaffrey, right? You talk about Deebo. It's arguable about Ayuk. That's arguable. But then I got 3 more guys that's more valuable. Nick Bosa.
Absolutely.
Game record. Fred Warner at the linebacker position.
Possibly
game record. Could be the best linebacker in the game. Exactly. And then you got I had one more. Bosa, Ayuk.
You gotta put
Fred Warner. Oh, Trent. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Trent. You got the best, one of the best top 5 offensive linemen to ever play the game.
You said all them guys, and then you got the versatility of Kittle.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy who
can block and catch.
Right, who can block and catch and gives you so many different things you could do with your offensive sets. I've had this debate with several people. You mentioned Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is super underrated on this team. Because if Brandon Ayuk was on another team, Brandon Ayuk would legitimately be a number 1 target, I think. This is a guy who he's on the cusp. He's another one. He's about to have a 1,000-yard receiving season, and nobody's talking about him. Why? Because you got Christian McCaffrey, because you got Deebo, because you got Kittle. And
you got Shanahan scheming the shit out of that offense and getting guys open.
This is why I say the Purdy for MVP. This is a creation of social media.
But he's also the favorite though, Eric. Too. He's also the odds-on favorite. If you go to bet anywhere, he's the odds-on favorite. I think that's plus 300.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's nuts.
I don't, like I said, there's no way. I just can't see it.
I agree. If it happens,
I
it's
just
a
don't.
travesty.
If you're telling me that Brock Purdy is a top 3 MVP in the league, then Tyreek should be the MVP of the league. Then, if we're gonna say that, then Tyreek should be the MVP.
Yeah, because he does him without Tua. Without him, Tua is not that Dolphins team is just not.
Tyreek is doing things at the wide receiver position that I don't think we've ever seen.
The closest is Randy Moss, and it's even different because he's got the whole route tree.
I didn't like that comment. I'm gonna be honest about Wes Welker because I think that like tried to
wait. What comment?
Huh?
What comment?
Wes Welker said the same comment where he was like the difference. He put Tyreek Hill above Randy Moss because he said Tyreek can run the whole route tree.
Oh, really?
He said that
on my mama, I didn't know he said that. That was just organic. I did not know he said that.
He said that earlier this week. I didn't like that comment because it was a little bit of a jab at Randy because I think too often we kind of like try to like minimize how great Randy was as a receiver and make it seem like all he was a deep threat. Randy Moss could do it all on the field. It was just that he was so unique.
But he didn't though. He didn't try it all the time. Let's not forget the Raiders years.
No. I mean, you got Kerry Collins throwing to you. It's going to be some frustrating times.
But at the same time, we didn't always see the effort from Randy Moss.
Hey,
that's
I'm
keeping it up. We didn't always see the effort.
We saw the effort. On one hand, how many guys can you say were better than Randy Moss?
Oh yeah, when you saw the effort, it was no stopping him. He's 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. 4 yards off the line of scrimmage, he's throwing his hands up because he's open.
There's some people that will say we didn't always see the best effort or the best team player attitude from Allen Iverson. It don't matter. I know what I saw. When I saw it, I know what I saw.
But let's not cross sports on that. I know. I'm just saying. Tyreek can take that thing. He'll take a negative 3 yard screen to the house. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really see that. We didn't see that. Like now Randy, he would beat you deep and across the middle. But I think Tyreek, we see him killing you from everywhere. I've seen from everywhere.
I've seen Randy take a bubble screen, catch it one-handed, and just turn upfield and be gone.
Okay.
I mean,
but I'm saying that wasn't a regular occurrence for Randy.
Because
anytime Tyreek Hill gets the football, it's oh shit, he might score. And with Randy, it wasn't like that. Except for deep balls, even though he probably had the potential to do that, but with Tyreek, man, Tyreek Hill is the ultimate video game. You know what I'm saying? You get the ball to him, and he can do whatever. It's like he has the ball skills of a Randy Moss and the shake of like a Dante Hall. You know what I'm saying? That's vicious. That is vicious.
Phenomenal. I think Tyreek is phenomenal. The difference in their games, and this again, this is not to knock him because I think Tyreek is phenomenal, and I think I've gotten to that point where I will say Tyreek is the best receiver right now in the game. The difference is when you look back towards the end of that Kansas City run, there was ways for you to schematically slow down Tyreek Hill. There was never a way to schematically slow down Randy Moss. There was never.
That's because they were running knives, and the game was called different too.
Right, but I'm saying there was no way because Randy Moss' unique ability to run past defenders, get the ball at his peak, split defenders, that was completely different. Tyreek Hill beat you with so much speed, right, that it looks crazy on the screen. But if you look back towards the end of the Kansas City years, like especially look back to what Cincinnati did in that AFC Championship game when they held him, I think, to 2 catches. There was ways that you could schematically slow him down. And this isn't a knock on Tyreek, so I don't want it to sound like that. I'm just saying that when you look at how you could slow him down, there was no way to slow down Randy. The only way to slow down Randy was to put him with a bad quarterback. Because anytime he had an above average quarterback, Randy was going to get his numbers.
Because
It didn't matter.
he beat you 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, and then his stride was so long, pause, that he could just beat you like 3 yards off. He ran a 4.3. You know what I'm saying? And he had the stride of a stallion. So it was, how you going, unless you
It's just
backed up off of him and completely streaked back, there's no way you were going to keep up with him.
and then even if you did, all you got to do is just high point the ball.
Yep. But even if you did that, even if you high pointed the ball, he was 6'4",
That's what I'm saying.
and was jumping over motherfuckers. Jumping over dudes.
If you're saying who would you rather have as a player, you'd rather have Tyreek Hill because you can do more with him. Tyreek Hill is not. You're looking at Randy Moss as a receiver. Tyreek Hill is a weapon. Tyreek Hill
Good point, Brian. Good point.
Returner. Tyreek Hill can not only that.
Whoa, hold on. So you
in those reverses,
Randy Moss didn't return punts early in his career.
Well, he ain't. I mean,
what are you talking? I don't look back. Randy was.
I don't remember, but to Vern's point, you can run Tyreek off these double reverses and all that. Randy wasn't doing that.
Anything?
Oh, yes, he did. Look back, early Minnesota days. Randy did all of those things. All of those things.
Maybe the
I don't remember that.
The same, but Tyreek Hill is a legit weapon. Not only that, Tyreek Hill is so fast that he can change the way your whole defense has to play him. Like
Randy was so great, he changed the way teams drafted.
I'm not saying it, but if somebody asks me who I'd rather have as a player, I'm taking Tyreek Hill. Who's the better receiver? You can debate, but like I said, Tyreek Hill will do something Randy Moss has never done. So we can debate.
Yeah, I don't want this to come across as me shitting on Randy Moss. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, right.
I'm just saying Tyreek is Tyreek's a cheat code. That's all I'm saying. He's a cheat code.
Tyreek. I think Tyreek is phenomenal. I'm not shitting on him either. I think Tyreek is phenomenal. He, to the point, if we're talking Purdy MVP, Tyreek should be ahead of Purdy MVP. That's why we.
For sure.
Without a doubt.
We're not talking Purdy MVP. Not in this room.
Let's get to some NBA talk. We got a lot of NBA questions here. Shout out to Ron. Ron got a good question that we're gonna get to in a second too. In-season tournament. What was all your thoughts on the Lakers Suns game when the Suns didn't get? I mean, it's not that big.
Y'all got this.
Yeah, y'all got that too.
Yeah, it ain't that big of a deal.
I didn't care. I didn't give a damn about this in-season tournament, and I still don't. So when is the final? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow 8:30.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow 8:30.
Tomorrow at 8:30. Man, I'll probably be watching YouTube or something. I'm not watching. I don't like. Why should I? Like we've said this the last 3 weeks in a row. Why should I care about the in-season tournament when the only thing it does is pat these dudes' pockets? Why should I care about this as a fan?
I don't think there's any reason for any fan to care unless your team is involved. I'm gonna be honest. After the Knicks lost to the Bucks the other night, I really didn't pay attention to the semifinals games yesterday because there was no incentive for me. It was almost the NBA, I think, did a great job of getting us to talk about these games before Christmas, but it was almost like March Madness, right? Will, as a Maryland fan, if the Terps get knocked out in the Sweet 16, your interest now in the Elite Eight and the Final Four kind of fade off a little bit because your team isn't in it anymore.
Completely.
Right. That's the way I looked at the in-season tournament. I paid attention to the Knicks game the other night. The Knicks lose to the Bucks. Now I no longer have interest in the rest of this tournament.
But I can't even look at the in-season tournament in that same light because at least if Maryland was going to the Sweet 16 or something, they going for the championship. This in-season tournament goes for nothing. It doesn't count for anything except for their bank account. I know. I want to see the rich get richer. I don't give a damn.
But hold on. Let me actually. I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? Because I agree with you. The interest wanes unless it's your team. But when these guys play in the playoffs, the rich are getting richer because they get bonuses for every round that they advance in.
They're going to the championship. They're fighting for a championship.
But why should I care about that when that's the only incentive?
But I mean,
it has no weight on the playoffs. It has no weight on the regular season. So why should I even care? It's just basically it's a regular season cash grab to try to make fans pay more attention to basketball before Christmas. That's all it is. It means nothing towards. It means nothing towards a championship. It kind of waters it down for me because now, let's say the Lakers win, right? Now it's going to be all these fans out here trying to act like the in-season tournament championship is a feather in LeBron's cap.
Nah, it's no way.
You know what I'm saying?
LeBron fan, but ain't no way.
What's the point? That's my whole. That's been my whole issue. What is the point of this thing, man?
No,
It's like, please tell me what's the point if it has no implication on playoffs. Please. Which it does not, correct?
nah.
Nothing that happens in this in-season tournament has anything to do with the NBA playoffs or the NBA finals, correct?
Not at all. Not at all.
So what's the point?
It was
Cash
to draw
grab,
attention
money
to-
grab.
it was- Of course.
To
but
make
that's-
us
but that's
watch
what
games
I'm-
before Christmas.
that's-
Because I don't
that's
watch
what
games before
everything-
Christmas. I never do. And that's what it's
That's
trying to make you
everything,
do.
though. Like, if we're gonna get technical and be like, "Oh, it's a cash grab," all these sports do things that are cash grabs. I mean, the play-in tournament is a cash grab. Is it not?
But it has something to do with the playoffs.
How?
It's relevant.
If your team plays,
If you're in the
Hold on,
play-in
hold on.
tournament,
you and I both said going into last year's play-in tournament, right? That most of those teams that are bracketed in that 7, 8, 9, 10 range are not even legitimate title contenders. It's a cash grab. Because
But-
we know most people.
Nah, but I think
somebody can catch fire and make the playoffs.
the reason
This has nothing to do with the postseason.
I think the reason NBA did that was because if you have a team that had devastated by injuries at some point in time in the season, it was able to, maybe get to the 10th spot. You at the end of the season, you could still take maybe the best team available. In which to me, it was the tournament to play for the ultimate prize at the end of the day. Whether or not you think that they can compete or they could beat number 1, number 2 seed, whatever, that's a whole different story. But here it's like, I mean, to me, I feel like the NBA kind of missed the ball with the execution. They, like I told you before, the thing, poor marketing. No one knew what it was. No one understood the purpose of what was going on. And it was just like, oh, we got these games on this different court. But I felt as though they just could have executed a little bit more. Also, there's really no NBA. There's nothing saying the NBA players care about these games more than any other regular season game. The reason why people watch the playoffs so much in the NBA, why the big jump, because this is the time where we say, or later in the season, okay, these are the time where the NBA players actually care about playing games, because when you got an 82-game season, most teams already know they're going to make the playoffs, so the incentive to play hard every night is like weak. Like, we're like, man, we rest. When you get to February, March, April, when it's like, okay, we really need to get going, that's when people start tuning, because we can actually see a good basketball game. Nobody want to go out there and see people just really not caring. I know the NBA is trying to care, but they just did a really poor job with executing that particular task. And people like Will and I like, who cares? Who wins the season tournament?
And then how much incentive was really there when you just saw the Pelicans lose by 40-some points in that thing? Right? Didn't they lose by 43 the other night to the Lakers?
Yeah, they got blown out.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So how much did they care? They quit in the third quarter, which is indicative of December NBA basketball. It was no more intense or no more anything else. It was a December NBA basketball. I'm not on board with it yet. I just don't see the point in it, and I think it's unnecessary.
I mean, I still think that it's still the same basketball we was going to watch anyway. So to me, I'm not negative on it. It's the same basketball we were going to watch.
But were you going to watch before Christmas? Were you going to watch before Christmas?
I mean, all right, so hold on. Let me
I
say
don't.
this, right? Hold on. I know I would have. You know why? One, you guys may feel this way because of how bad the Wizards are.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with my squad.
It does. It does, because I was going to watch my Knicks regardless. So it don't matter whether it was before Christmas or after Christmas. Now, I've been in that predicament I've been in that predicament where your team isn't that good, so you're not really tuning in. But if the Wizards were good right now and the Wizards were playing in the in-season tournament, you're telling me you would not tune in?
No.
You bug it.
And you know why? You want to know why? Yo, I got recent history. So, well, somewhat recent. The last time the Wizards played on Christmas Day, they beat your Knicks. It was the first game of the day.
How long ago was that?
About 6 years.
6 years. Okay.
About that.
My youngest daughter's 5, so yeah.
Something like that. So, but I didn't care about no games before that day. I just wanted to beat the Knicks in Madison Square Garden on Christmas Day. That's when my season started. So I'm not checking for these early games because
stop. Because you know yourself, when John Wall and Bradley Beal was at their best, you wasn't excited when the season started. You wasn't paying attention to the early season games.
I watched us, but I wasn't into the league like that. I wasn't into the league like that. The league season for me started on Christmas Day when we went to Madison Square Garden and gave y'all one.
You just use your team as an example. When your team is competitive, of course you tune in right away early in the season to pay attention to it. So for example,
but that's my team.
Hold on. For like, if you're a fan base of the Pacers, you already tuning in, and the in season just gave you more motivation to tune in because you're hoping your team can win this tournament.
If that's important to you.
Of course it's important. It's important to every fan base. If you're a Laker fan, you tell me Laker fans ain't tuning in?
Why is it important though?
Because it's your team playing well. It's no different.
I'm not with it.
Hold on. Vern, let me ask you a question, Vern.
Yeah.
As a Commanders fan, right? Realistically, you didn't think your team could go to the Super Bowl, right?
Nah.
But were you paying attention to September football?
Hell yeah, why wouldn't I?
Thank you. Because everybody pays attention to their team at the beginning of a season. Everybody does. It doesn't matter what your expectation is for the whole season. As a Colts fan, I'm watching the Colts in September.
But listen, all those games you're referring to in the beginning of the season have something to do with the ends of the means. This in-season tournament doesn't have anything to do with shit.
So let me ask you a
question. You
see
what I'm saying?
It does still, though, because
it does not.
Yes, it does, because those still account to your regular season record. You still got to win games to make the playoffs. Do you not?
So do you have to have an in-season tournament to have wins and losses?
No, you don't.
No.
Of course you don't have to have
no, the NBA has survived for 35 years without having this bullshit. So why is it necessary now?
Do you have to play 82 games to get to the playoffs?
Yes.
Are the in-season tournament games not part of the 82 games?
Yes.
So then it matters.
But
then it matters.
Then how come in the last 35 years there was no in-season tournament? Why now is it necessary?
And in the 32 years prior to that, there was no playing game. But we adjusted. We realized that, all right, that's
but it counts. But it counts towards postseason play.
No, it doesn't, because the playing tournament games are after the regular season is over. So those
games don't it counts towards postseason. You can be a 10 seed and make the playoffs.
And the in-season tournament games count towards making the playoffs because you still got to win those games.
But it doesn't have to be in a tournament format. You could have kept it regular basketball.
82 games you got to play.
Man, I just think it's unnecessary. Like, what's the point?
It's still 82 games. It doesn't matter. We're still tuning into the same 82.
So we giving a juice box. We giving a juice box championship trophy to a team that won a few games in December. Is that what we signing up for now?
I'm not. Listen, if whatever team wins the in-season tournament, however you want to celebrate it, that's on you. But
so we giving juice boxes and orange slices now in the NBA.
Do the games that led up to the in-season tournament, do they not count towards your record?
But if there was no in-season tournament, it would be the same, right?
No. Do they still count towards your record?
Yes. If there was no in-season tournament, wouldn't it still be the same?
Absolutely.
So what's the point of this in-season tournament other than putting money in these dudes' pockets?
If it's still the same, why are you so upset about it? It's
but
the same
because it wouldn't still be it wouldn't be the same seedings. It wouldn't be the same lineup. You wouldn't see the Lakers and the Pacers playing each other Saturday.
But they still got to play each other twice a year, no matter what, right? East plays West twice a year, no matter what.
So what's the point of this? If you just said it for me, they're gonna play each other anyway.
Right.
But we need to hold up a trophy that don't mean a goddamn thing and before Christmas. For what?
Cool. The same. What's the difference? Hold on. So what's the difference between the college preseason tournaments, the Maui Invitational? What's the difference in that then? If the Maryland Terrapins,
that's a completely different thing.
If the Maryland Terrapins won the Maui Invitational, would you be upset that they played in the Maui Invitational and played 3 games over there?
This is dog. You comparing apples to oranges right now.
How?
It ain't the same thing at all.
That's not the same.
So hold on.
That ain't the same thing, man.
Hold on. Whoever wins the Maui Invitational, does that?
That's a preseason tournament.
But
that's not in season.
That goes on their record. If you go 3-0 in the Maui Invitational, you start the year 3-0.
They played 30. They played 32 games, 34 games.
Now you're trying to move the goalposts, Will. I see.
No, I'm not. It's different. That's not the same. It's not the same, man. It's not the same.
So if the Maryland Terrapins win the Maui Invitational and they get a juice box trophy there, that's all right. That's cool. It's not that big of a deal. But because
now pause, because in the Maui Invitational, it's usually elite teams, so it means more.
Oh my God!
Don't tell me it's not. Don't tell me it's not.
No, it is not elite team. If we go back,
dog, it be like Duke, Carolina. Like, come on, man.
And then
let's not do that.
Throwing teams as well. There'd be the throwing teams from the West Coast in there. Pepperdine be at the Maui Invitational. Will you know that? Come on, let's.
Dude, we can go back and look at the last 10 years of matchups for the Maui Invitational. It's good teams there, and ain't no bumps there.
It's the same basketball we were already going to watch. It's the same basketball.
So why give a trophy? Why give accolades if it's the same basketball? What's the point of those? See, this is my thing. What's the point of the trophy or the accolades? What's the point? All it gives is more money to these millionaires. I'm not interested in lining millionaires' pockets with more money. I don't care about that. That has nothing to do with me.
Will, how long? All right, hold on. I'm gonna say this. We're gonna end on this debate. You say you don't want to line the pockets of millionaires, right? You just
I'm not.
That, right?
I have no interest in continuing to line their pockets when they already out here getting it.
Line their pockets. How long you been a Chargers fan?
4 years.
How many jerseys you bought at the Chargers in the 4 years you've been there?
2.
So you lining the pockets of millionaires for the 4 years that you've been a fan of the Chargers. The Spanos family did not know you. They never met you. But in the 4 years that you've been a fan, you bought hats and jerseys, Will.
Well, that's where it falls. That's where you're wrong because of revenue sharing. Teams don't get individual residuals based on their team sales. It all goes to the league.
Vern, see why Vern pulling his hat down?
I'm not.
I see it. I mean, y'all can look it up, but teams don't individually.
You line the pockets of millionaires.
I'm not.
So I'm being a fan of the sport.
That's what everybody who's watching the in-season tournament is, a fan of the sport. We all fans of the sport.
I'm not.
Will is never going to let this go. All right. He just ain't. He ain't going to let it go.
You're right.
Have it.
Counselor, put one on the scoreboard for me. We got that one right there.
No, but listen. No, what I'm trying to say is, like, let's say 2 teams. Let's just put 2 teams in perspective.
Okay.
A winning team and a losing team. Let's say the Chiefs and the Commanders. Okay, I'm gonna use those 2 teams as examples. They revenue share. So there's not like if the Commanders sold, let's say, $2 million in jerseys, and in the same year the Chiefs sold $10 million, the Chiefs aren't going to clear that 8. it's shared. So it's not
And
like it goes directly to your team. It's all revenue
is
shared. It's not.
is
It's
every
not
is every owner a multi-millionaire, possibly a billionaire?
Can we please
for
let
sure.
have it, Eric? Let him have it.
So
Eric, just let Will have it. Let him have it. Just let him have it. Let him have it.
have what? The debate is over. The debate is over. Hold on. Let's get the Pooh's question. Zion Wilson, let's face it, he's out of shape and big. He seems like he just be throwing down at the crib. It's sad because he's talented. He's super talented, but I don't think he's focused on the game. Will, what you think though?
Zion is more about the lifestyle than the game, and I've given this dude chance after chance to show and prove. Um, he's not focused on being a professional basketball player. He's more focused on having a lifestyle of a professional basketball player. The conditioning isn't there, the diet isn't there, the work ethic isn't there, and it's sad because the athleticism and the ability is all there, but he's just not focused on being a. He don't got that dog in him. You know what I'm saying? He just doesn't, and nothing he has shown up to this point says that he does. He's just a super athletic dude that was physically gifted to be in this position, but he's not taking it seriously at all, and it's a shame, but it is what it is. He's not focused on being a pro ball player. Because if he was, if he had that dog in him and was really focused on tearing up the league, he'd be an unstoppable force. He's got all the physical tools. He just I don't think mentally he's in the right space. And at this point in his career, like you, what, 3 years in now? 4 years in? I don't think you can just pick it up.
Five.
5 years in? Oh yeah.
Him, RJ,
Yeah, you can't
together.
you can't just pick it up now. And then oh yeah, he came in with Ja, right?
Yeah. Him, RJ, and Ja Morant all the same draft.
I feel bad for these young kids, man, because they got all the talent in the world, but I don't think they had the guidance that they needed um, when they were coming up. I don't think they had the drive instilled in them when they were coming up, and it was more about the flash and showing off and all that, but it wasn't about the grind, and that's mad unfortunate. So, I mean, can I blame the players themselves? Yeah, but it's also you got to think about their path and the way they got here. And I just don't think they have the grind of the players of the past. They don't have the urgency. It's already given to them. You know what I mean? They're already given all the spoils before they even do anything to earn them. So it's kind of like half on them and then half on the industry that they're coming up in. But not having that support system behind you that pushes you to be that, like, and like y'all know I don't like LeBron like that, but he has that drive. You know what I'm saying? He has that determination. I don't think that the players of this day really have that. They've already made it. They already on music videos and partying with rappers and all that before they even make it to the league. So it's like they feel like they already made it. Then they don't have to put the work in. He's a prime example of a dude that I think if he put the work in would be unstoppable. But since he has not put it in, and it's showing vastly. Um, I hope that he's not going to be one of those stories that we talk about. Like, man, Zion could have been this, Zion could have been that, and then he doesn't turn into that. But I think it starts at the base and the foundation of they need to be taught that it's work to be put in this. You're not handed this stuff, even though they are being handed this stuff. It's still work that needs to be put in to sustain it.
So, real quick, Ron's question is funny. So, Zion's laid back approach. I mean, to me, Zion has never been a professional since he got into the league. He's gained weight every year he's got into the league, which is even harder to understand when you think about the tools that these players have to stay in shape. Like, they have chefs, they have a gym they go to every single day, they have trainers, nutrition. Like, imagine if every day you woke up and your only job was to stay in shape. Like, you didn't have to go to a 9 to 5. You didn't have to open your computer to check your email. All they say, Eric, we need you to stay in the best shape of your life. And not only that, we're going to pay you $50 million a year to do it. I don't even understand. So to me, his laid-back approach is going to be his detriment. He's, like I said, like everyone said, when you come into the league already making these millions of dollars, and you can almost be like your own self-ambassador, you don't really need the league. And I think Zion's like, look, I don't need the league. I've been a superstar since I was in high school in South Carolina. So he's like, sure, I don't care. He can eat himself at the league, and we'll see where it goes from there.
He also went to Duke though, so you gotta.
That's not a pass. It's disappointing. It's disappointing because you see the talent there and you see the potential for dominance there. But for whatever reason, to both of y'all points, he has not taken the game serious and he has not fully committed to the game. And honestly, I don't think we're going to ever see a full commitment. At this point, year 5, you would expect the guy to have that full commitment and then to see the progression. We haven't seen that yet. I mean, the fact that he's even on the court right now, we're giving him the benefit of the doubt because he's been so injury prone his first 4 years. So I don't think we're ever going to see the commitment. I think he's always going to be a what if guy. He's going to be one of them guys that we look back on years from now and be like, man, if that guy could have committed to the game, he could have been really special. But he's never going to commit. He's just always going to rely on raw talent. Let's get to Ron's question. A lot of people wanted to post this one. This is probably my favorite question of the night. Shout out to Ron. He wants to know, put these guards in order. De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Dame Lillard. Vern, I'm going to let you go first. Vern.
Oh, man. Honestly, it's really hard to rank them. And the reason why I say it's hard to rank them is not because I think anyone here is all that spectacular. It's hard to rank them because no one here has really done anything. Let's be real.
Cut the bullshit.
I mean, tell me somebody here who,
not in the postseason. They haven't done anything in the postseason.
They have not established themselves as someone that you can rely on to get you to the next level. None of them. So now we got that out the way. If you're telling me, am I taking on my guards in order? Now, are we saying like for like 1 year? Are we saying like who I would take like right now?
I'm gonna assume Ron is asking right now, as of today, not historically, because I think Dame's resume is stronger than everyone else's. But as of today, 1 through 4, who would you take?
I'm probably going Halliburton 1. I think I'm gonna go Dame 2, Shai 3, and Fox 4. I think that's where I'm gonna go. And the only reason I'm gonna go Halliburton number 1 is because I feel like his game can make others better and transcends the others, in my opinion.
Let me ask you a question. Are you taking Halliburton 1 because of his in-season tournament performance? Why would you take him number 1? Why would you take him number 1? That's all I want to know. Because there was nothing before.
Halliburton, to me, I feel like he's, how can I explain it? Him at the point guard, to me, I could put him on a team.
You got that dog.
The offense can run smoothly.
Y'all funny. Y'all some funny. Y'all some funny individuals. Dude,
y'all
some funny individuals, man.
Dame Lillard number 2 is very obvious. I've seen Dame perform in situation in clutch situation moments. I gotta put him there. You know how I feel about SGA. You know where it is. You know how I feel about him. He has the potential to be great. And De'Aaron Fox, to me, until he gets a more consistent jumper, I just gotta put him at number 4. But
Ron, I'm gonna go back. Hold on, because Ron wanted us to answer this.
Damn, that's tough.
It's tough because no one has done anything. All of these guards to me have either haven't reached their potential yet, so we don't really know where they are, or they've disappointed in some way, shape, or form. So I don't really know right now. Now, to me, who's going to go further? Whose team is going to go the furthest is probably Dame because he has Greek the Freak, but we exclude him.
We're not talking about we're not talking about whose team's going to go the furthest because I think Dame is in the best situation.
But outside of that, I don't know who. I mean, De'Aaron Fox. I mean, he's done well out there in Sacramento. I mean, I thought they ran into a very experienced team in the playoffs last year. If they don't do that, they might, go a little bit further. But like I said, I mean, regular season performance and stats now in the NBA to me just watered down. You look at the defense that's being played, and you look at how teams are just carrying.
Hold on. Yeah, let's. I don't want to go down that path because I think we all agree. No, we agree though. We agree the game is different.
I'm thinking Halliburton 1, shot 2, Dame 3, and Fox 4. No, yeah. No, Dame 2, shot 3, Fox 4.
All right. Ron, you said the question regarding Zion. I think we answered that. We combined it with Pooh's question when we talked about. He said, "But thoughts on Zion's laid-back approach?" I think we talked about that. He's a guy who I don't think none of us think he takes the game too serious. None of us think he's committed to his potential. I think he's more than content with being a guy that's in the league and from time to time gives you a great night in the league, pause, but he doesn't want to be an all-time great. So I think we answered that one, Ron. I got to ask this, though, because Vern, you kind of danced around a little bit, and then I heard Will in the background say Halliburton got that dog in him. When did y'all realize Halliburton had that dog in him? I'm just curious to know.
That was last season.
From last year. Come on, man.
Okay. I'm just saying that I'm just curious to know because when we talked about point guards earlier this season, no one mentioned Halliburton.
Because I didn't even remember that he was a point guard.
Yeah, about point guard.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't on point guards. I was not.
Because he don't got that point guard look.
To me, maybe I'm being facetious. It just seemed like the in-season tournament has changed people's perspective.
No, I haven't watched.
That's fine. I'm gonna say this.
Full disclosure, I haven't watched none of that.
I'm gonna rank them like this. Out of these four, we're going as of today. So this is not a knock on Dame because I think Dame historically is better than the other three guys that we're talking about right now. There's no doubt about that. Dame is going to be a Hall of Famer where these other guys have a lot left to prove. But as of today, December 8th, 2023, the ranking, the real ranking, the most accurate ranking you're going to hear. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's number 1. Tyrese Halliburton's number 2. De'Aaron Fox is number 3. Dame Lillard is number 4. And here's why. Out of these four guys, Shai is the most well-rounded point guard out of these four guys. Look at his assist to turnover rate. Look at his points per game. Look at his defensive ability. He is better than all these other three guys in all those areas. Shai Gilgeous is the most well-rounded out of these four guys. Halliburton is next, again, for the same reasons I mentioned. And also Halliburton, I think, is a more efficient player than De'Aaron Fox. I love De'Aaron Fox's game. But Halliburton is more efficient. Halliburton just went 2 straight games. He's had 28 assists, no turnovers. He is an old school throwback, true point guard. Fox is 3. Dame, I think, has lost a step. Dame's defensive inefficiencies. And I think the fact that Dame now, we starting to see a little bit, there's some tread on the tires. He's slowed down. Again, historically, he's better than the other guys. But where he's at right now, to me, I would rank him 4. Will, go ahead, man.
You know what? Shout out to Ron. This question is fucking difficult as hell.
Yeah, it's hard.
But if I'm talking about the way I'm breaking this down, because I'm looking at it from a lot of angles. I'm going, if I gotta go to a game 7 tomorrow, and who do I want running my point? I gotta put Dame Dollar in there, man. Because I've seen it.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I've seen it before. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going off of what I know and going into it, this is the way I'm looking at it is if I gotta play game 7 tomorrow night, who do I want running my point?
Right.
I gotta go with Dame Dollar because I've seen it. Okay. Now, then when you break it down to the young guys, De'Aaron and Halliburton and SGA, man, that's
So
I mean that's super. Right now, today, I probably gotta go Halliburton, and then I gotta go SGA, and then I'm going De'Aaron. But that's no knock on any of them.
yeah.
Okay, no matter what the order is, that's no knock on them. But I gotta take Dame because I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? He's done it. You know what I'm saying? Now Halliburton has been hell of efficient recently. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to play the recency effect. De'Aaron Fox has shown me explosive ability, but he hasn't shown me takeover game ability. Like I've said about De'Aaron Fox, he reminds me of a longer pause John Wall. And then SGA looks like a complete guard, but I don't think he can get there by himself. I think he's going to need a strong 2 and 3 to go side by side with him. So if I'm going to a game 7 tomorrow, and I need one of these point guards, it's Dame time.
That's more than fair. I can't even dispute that because I agree. I think he is the most accomplished out of the 4. I think it's a great question. I think it also
great. It's an excellent question, Ron. Yeah. Excellent question.
And I also think it's a sign of the times. We are at that point where we're kind of changing the guards, and it's crazy. We're talking about these 4 guards. He didn't even put Luka in the question.
Well, because Luka.
Wow, yeah.
You know how I feel about Luka, so don't even.
So I'm saying Luka might be the best.
You know what? Yeah, this question might be completely disrespectful when we not including the Don.
Like, Luka's not even in the question.
Cause the Don is out here tearing shit up. Yeah, this might be. Ron racist. I'm just playing, Ron.
No, I think, like I said, when I saw the question,
it don't translate to W's. His defense is so terrible. You could put him in a pick and roll, mix him up all day long. Ball dominant guard does nothing. Doesn't translate.
No. Hold on. Luka. No, hold on. I agree with you. Luka's defensive inefficiencies make it very tough to properly rank him.
So bad.
But hold on. Think about what you said yourself, Vern, and think about what Will said, right? When we talk about in terms of guys who've accomplished something, Luka has won some playoff series. SGA, for as much as I like him, SGA ain't won a playoff series. Fox ain't won a playoff series. Halliburton ain't won a playoff series.
Hasn't Luka been in the league longer than him?
I mean, I think he's been in the league a year longer than Fox.
Luka's still only like 25, right?
Right. In my opinion, he came into a more stable. I mean, I guess like a better winning culture than the other players. Like you had OKC that was really on his rebuild process, which is why they made.
Right. That is true. Shea went to a very difficult spot there.
They have other issues going on just with the foundation of their city and just trying to get them back to type of relevancy. Really, since like the Lottie, Divock, Chris Webber days, and you have the Pacers who are a small market team who really are, their expectation to really, I guess, win or become established in any kind of way, shape, or form. Expectations are kind of low there. So I feel even though I'm not saying the Mavericks were like this great team, they at least had some type of stable foundation from an organizational standpoint that I think Luka had a little bit of an advantage at. But like all of these guards will be ahead of Luka. Like I said, if you're going to be that dominant with the ball in your hand, you shouldn't be putting those kind of numbers.
You know what's crazy? I didn't even realize this. I had to look back. I was looking back as you were talking about it. So Luka came in 2018.
Yeah.
Shai Gilgeous was in that same draft.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, because remember Shai got drafted to the Clippers.
Luka was already playing pro ball, so he had
Luka had an advantage. He had an advantage. Luka came in, I think, much more.
What was Luka like, fourth?
Luka, yeah, because Luka and Trey were traded for each other on draft day.
Yeah.
So
And what
Luka
did Shea go, like 17th or something like that?
Yeah, Shea went at the end of the lottery 14th. He went to the Clippers.
14th.
Shea
Okay.
ends up with OKC as part of the Paul George trade. That's how he ended up there. But I think it's a phenomenal question because again, Dame is, I think right now
it's just hard to unseat him at this point. It's just hard to.
Yeah, Dame is still the standard. Dame is still the standard. Even though he's lost a step, even though he's the older guard, he's still the standard. To Will's point, if you're telling me, bro, I need this series, all the money's on the line, you're probably still taking Dame over every one of these young guys. But it shows you the great place that the league is in, that you have this core of young guards, Luka, Fox, Halliburton, Shea, who are the next wave of point guards.
Jordan
that could possibly be taking over the mantle. Who?
But that's the thing. Without them doing it, without us seeing it from them, that's why I feel like it's like I'm taking it here.
Just said there for a
it's
second.
like the John Wall syndrome. Because John Wall was on that level.
Verse, say the name again.
Jordan Poole.
Nah, ain't nobody Jordan. Nobody throw Jordan Poole in any conversation ever.
That pool is shallow.
Very shallow. That's the 2 feet. That's the baby pool over there.
Yeah, that's the 2-foot joint. That's the wading pool.
Let me see what we might have missed so far. Listen, everybody in the chat, we appreciate you guys. We're not going to address the in-season tournament anymore. We saw that turned into a very long conversation. We're not getting into the in-season tournament anymore.
Very volatile conversation.
Let's see. A couple NFL questions, then we're going to get to the picks. Gary Blankenship. He said Gardner Minshew putting his name out more out. He putting his name out there. Gardner Minshew has been phenomenal for the Colts, and if he gets to go to the playoffs, Gardner Minshew is going to get a nice payday somewhere to be the backup quarterback.
You know what? Gardner Minshew is probably the best backup. Well, probably top 3 best backup quarterback in the league. Like I think if you put him on a team, early in camp and where he can learn the playbook and actually go through the OTAs and everything, I think Gardner Minshew could be a very serviceable quarterback in the NFL.
Go ahead, Vern.
So the Colts is really showing the league why it's important to have a good backup quarterback, the most undervalued position sometimes. We all got to start a quarterback. Okay, what happens if how many starting quarterbacks make it through the season? I mean, if they miss 1 or 2 games, it's 1 or 2 games, but what if those are the 1 or 2 games you really need, right? So I think it's just showing that how valuable that position actually is.
He can start in cities like Atlanta or the Jets. Or
Gardner Minshew, there's at least 5
teams right now.
I think
he can start on team
right now that he could be the starting quarterback on. I think Gardner Minshew has done a phenomenal job. Shout out to Shane Steichen. I don't think he'll win. He'll get many votes for Coach of the Year just because I think DeMeco Ryans has been so great with the Texans. But Shane Steichen coming in as a first-year head coach, and Will, to your point about the value of a backup quarterback, he brought in his backup quarterback from Philly, somebody who already knew the playbook, somebody who knew they weren't competing for the starting job because it was Anthony Richardson from day one. He brought him in with the understanding of like, you're going to mentor this guy, and if we need you, I know I can rely on you to be ready. Gardner Minshew has shown that because he's been ready, and he's got the Colts in a position where they're 7-5 right now. I think they far exceeded any expectations I had for them, and they're on the cusp of possibly being a wild card team. So shout out to Gardner Minshew. I like this question from Gary. C.J. Stroud. Going to take the Texans to the wild card. A rookie leads the league in passing yards. Will we see a rookie quarterback in the MVP conversation this year if he keeps up this caliber he's playing now? Vern.
Absolutely not.
We'll see a rookie QB in the MVP conversation.
No.
Not this year. It's possible, but it just won't be. I mean, for me to have a rookie to MVP conversation, you got to have situations like him where you have a team that was just really bad, be great. But I don't think his team is performing enough. I think if they would have beat the Jaguars and they're the one now, and then you're really talking about them as the AFC South divisional leaders, with a chance to really push maybe, you know, a 3 seed, maybe even a 2 seed, maybe. But he's just not. He's not MVP. He's a really good quarterback and really solid. But nah, not an MVP. Just can't be the MVP. You got to be. Your team got to be like in the top 2 of the conference.
Will, what you think?
No. And Gary, I'm disappointed that you even asked that question. I expect better from you. Absolutely not. CJ Stroud is the MVP. Come on, man. What is their record even?
Yeah, he won't be in the MVP conversation. I think to Vern's point, not only do you have to win the division,
rookie MVP.
Well, he'll be the rookie of the
or rookie of the year.
He's the offensive rookie of the year. I don't think.
Yeah, that's different. I'm gonna give Gary the benefit of the doubt because that's my man. I'm hoping that you were thinking about rookie of the year and not MVP. Because come on, bro, MVP. Are you serious? Rookie of the year? Absolutely. NFL MVP? You're on drugs.
To be
so yeah.
I agree with you. I was going to double down on that. I agree. He's the offensive rookie of the year. I think that goes without saying. I don't think there's another rookie that's even close. To be the MVP of the league, not only would they have to win their division, they would have to be probably an 11-win team that finishes top 3 in the conference for him to even be in the conversation. Anything less than that, you can't be in the conversation. But CJ Stroud has been phenomenal. And I think CJ Stroud, along with DeMeco Ryans, they've quickly turned around the Texans. The Texans were one of the worst teams in football last year. And the addition of CJ Stroud with a bunch of young receivers has turned them into a really good offense. So CJ Stroud, shout out to him. He's going to be offensive rookie of the year.
Now, I do think DeMeco Ryans is in the running for coach of the year.
I think DeMeco should be the coach of the year.
Yeah, he should.
That's my thoughts.
So we all in agreement on that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you're drafting number 2 in the NFL draft, and the very next year you're 7-5, competing for your division and competing for a playoff spot, I don't
with a rookie quarterback and your first effort at head quarterback. I mean, at head coach.
But it's more than that, Eric. This wasn't a team that was drafted number 2. This was a team that had one of the most dysfunctional situations in the past couple years. They had their franchise quarterback. They just paid so much money to, and they had to get rid of him. The Texans were in PR hell with their owner. Nothing was going right for them. Like, they couldn't catch a break. Deshaun Watson had so many lawsuits out the wazoo, the owner talking crazy. And it's like 2 years later, it's as if none of it happened. It is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So, absolutely coach of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's even up for debate. Granted, Shane Steichen from the Colts may get some votes as well, but I think what DeMeco has done with that team and that organization completely changes everything. Yeah, man. I think it's DeMeco Ryans. Let's see what else we got in the comment section. Fellas, we're not going to go through every pick one by one, but we'll go through some of our favorites. And I'm going to also post up the picks we had for this week. So, Will, I'm going to start with you. What's one of your favorite picks? Give me your 401k for this week, Will.
Oh, shit, I got to go with the 401k? Let me see. You just caught me off guard.
Hey, Eric, did you ever see totals?
Say that again?
Did you ever see the season totals? Like, who's doing what?
Okay, I found it.
Tally everything up. I got you. I got them all written down, but I got to tally them up.
All right.
I didn't even have it marked, but I see it on the schedule. I'm going with the 401k. Go ahead and shift the chips in. Go ahead and put your paycheck on Miami beating the Titans at home on Monday night. I like that one for the 141K pick of the week. I don't think the Titans have any juice on the defensive side of the ball to slow down this Miami offense. In Miami, it's going to be a warm night, and I see them wrecking those boys. Go ahead,
I like that pick.
Go ahead, put Tariq down for 2 touchdowns probably. But I like Miami at Tennessee. I mean Tennessee at Miami.
30 points on them. So I like that pick.
The line is what?
No, 30? The line is minus 13.
I thought you said the line was 30. Oh my God.
No, I was saying the Colts just dropped 31 points on them last week. So that defense ain't got no juice, as you mentioned.
On Tennessee? Yeah.
I mean, when Alex Pierce and Michael Pittman both went over 100 yards against your secondary, it's going to be a big day for Tyreek on Monday night.
And what you think Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle going to do on this team? And plus the 1-2 punch they got to run it back. It's going to be ugly. I'm going to be watching Netflix by 10 o'clock that night.
Vern, what's your 401k for this week?
I mean, if it's a 401k, I mean, I could do this if y'all want just some diversity. I'll go with the 49ers over the Seahawks. Geno Smith is not. He's exactly who we thought he was. He's a fringe starter in the league, really a high-level backup. San Francisco at home. They see the number 1 seed is actually for the taking out. They are going to come out and probably beat the brakes off of the Seahawks. I mean, to be honest with you, I think Wills is more of a lock. Like if someone asked me if I had to put my money on the spread, I would put the money on the spread on the Dolphins for sure. Like I think the Dolphins, they haven't done it in a while, but I think the Dolphins could approach 60 points in this game. This is a Monday night football game. Take the over. The Dolphins might get it by themselves.
Hey, Vern, you know who your quarterback is like?
Oh, see, hey, Eric, you said I would not do this.
Listen, I like both those picks for 401k pick of the week. I'm going to pick somebody different just to mix it up, but I do like Miami to win big, and I expect the 49ers to beat up on Seattle. I think Seattle is reeling right now. Seattle's falling apart. I'm going to go with the team.
Real quick, not to cut you off, Eric. Vern, who's your backup?
Jacoby Brissett.
Is it still Jacoby Brissett?
Yeah.
Man, he's the best quarterback in your city. All right, go ahead, Eric. I was just making sure he was still there.
I like both those picks. I like Miami to make a statement on prime time, and I think Seattle's reeling, so I think San Fran beats up on them. But I'm going to go back to a team we were just talking about. I think the Texans beat the brakes off the Jets. The Texans are favored by 3.5. The Jets are in complete disarray. They don't even know who's going to play quarterback. Zach Wilson saying now he don't want to play quarterback for them. I expect the Texans to make a statement in that game, and I think the Jets defense is on the verge of just quitting on this whole season. So I can see the Texans winning big there. I got the Texans as my 401k pick of the week. Will, give me your upset pick of the week.
You see, I got Houston. You see me on my checklist.
Yes, sir.
My upset?
Yep. Who's your upset pick of the week?
Damn. Shit. I'm unprepared. I think I'm going to be ending up going with. Shit, that's not an upset either. Okay, I guess by the numbers, probably this is an upset. Y'all be looking at the numbers. I don't really be looking. Is Cleveland an upset at home?
Nah, they favorite.
Yeah, they favorite.
Oh, Cleveland's favorite?
Yeah, because it looks like, again, it doesn't look like Trevor Lawrence is going to play in that game.
Okay, so let me scratch that. Hey, go to Vern and come back to me.
My upset pick of the week is the Raiders over the Vikings.
Oh.
I like it.
Vikings, as you can see, the tape is out.
Hey, I got that. So can I piggyback?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. It ain't much out there this week. I mean, it's upsets, but it's like really like one.
Where is it at? There it is.
I mean, you look at Antonio Pierce is doing okay, but the team's not on Dobbs. He can't throw the ball. If you just make him a thrower, he gonna throw it to you. It's just like That's just what it is. People say, "Oh, why is he a backup?" Well, this is why. You know, he can come in, he can run a few plays, he can do X, Y, and Z. But no, I think the Raiders win this game outright by 6 points. I think we get like a 26-20 game. And the Vikings still said that they were going to go into the bye week and evaluate who's going to actually start for them. So it might be someone else. But if it's someone else other than Dobbs, it can't be that great. That's why they went to go get Dobbs. So
y'all did see that on my sheet though, right? That I had.
I got you.
Okay.
Noted down for that. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one too because I think these are pretty evenly matched teams. So in that case, like I've always said before, you take the points. Vegas at home. I wouldn't be surprised they win that. My upset pick. I don't really think it's an upset, but based on the numbers, it is. I think Philly beats Dallas, and I don't understand. In
Dallas?
Yeah, I just don't get it because the Cowboys. We talked about this for weeks that the Cowboys are the prototypical beat up on bad team. They beat up on bad teams and they look great against bad teams, and then every time they play a good team, they fall short. I don't think they beat the Eagles this week, and I just think what happened was. Last week, the 49ers made it personal. We saw them show up in all black at the link. We saw Debo warming up with black Air Forces. The Niners want to get back from the NFC Championship game. Last time I checked.
Wait. Debo was in the warm-ups with some black Air Force Ones on?
Yeah, he was wearing black Air Force Ones in the warm-up. You know what I'm saying? The
That's
Niners made it personal.
I used to do that.
Niners made it.
I used to do that before basketball games. I had my black Air Force Ones on and I switch them off to my open shoes.
The Niners made it personal last week because the Niners were still mad about what happened in the NFC Championship game. Rightfully so. The Cowboys ain't the 49ers. The Cowboys don't play with the same physicality that the 49ers play with. So I expect the Eagles to get right back on track. The Eagles are getting 3.5 points. Vern, I think this is the easiest money of the week too. I like the Eagles as an upset. I would take the 3.5. I would take them for money.
You're just doing the points? You're just doing points, right?
What was it you I was talking to you about when I said we need the Cowboys to I was like, we need the Cowboys to win, the Eagles lose, so I can just fade the Cowboys next week.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
He said if the Eagles were to win and the Cowboys lose, it'd have been reverse line.
Absolutely.
So the outcome of last week doesn't change these two teams. Eagles are gonna win this game, and people are gonna go back. Oh, the Cowboys. I'm like, oh, they are who they are. Like, so man, the game is at 3.5 right now. I think it's gonna probably get bet down to 3.
I'll be tripping.
If you are taking this, take the points right now.
Look, y'all know I don't be betting against points or whatever, but I gotta feel that Dallas gonna win this thing by 10.
I mean, listen.
I don't know what the spread is and none of that, but I just think Dallas wins by 10. I could see, man, because they both got firepower. I could see 38-28 Dallas.
Listen, if Dallas win this game by 10, not only will I give you your credit, I'll say that the landscape of the NFC has completely changed. But my question to anybody who likes Dallas, name me the one big game that Dak Prescott has won. Because I don't think we've seen it.
There hasn't been one, yeah. And then the games that are supposed to be big games are against way inferior talent.
And that defense is toasty, boy. Did y'all see them last week? My goodness. Bland, he's not catching something, he getting smoked. So
they're gonna target Bland this week.
They was going after him.
Whoever Bland got in coverage, I promise you, watch for the double moves. They're gonna isolate him and put him out there and run a bunch of double moves out his way and throw the ball over the top. Vern, right now, I'm looking on FanDuel. Eagles is plus 164.
I know. I saw that.
That's great.
So we didn't call all the games, right?
No. I'm gonna post all of our games, our picks. That's why I wanted to just make sure we got our 401k and our upset pick. But I'm posting all our picks on Facebook before the games on Sunday. I'm actually gonna post them tomorrow evening.
There's another juicy one that I think is going to hit for sure.
I'm about to pair that, man.
Detroit at Chicago. I think Detroit's going to smack the shit out of them.
That was always an easy one, man. What the Commanders at? They gotta come back.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. I like the Bears to cover the 3.
I had the Bears.
Really?
I had the Bears. No, I had the Lions. I got the Lions, man. Bears time around. Lions need to do something. Lions gonna get back on track. I think I got the Lions. Yeah, I think I told you I got the Lions. Yeah.
And then this was one y'all gonna have to hold on to your ass for. I got Denver going into LA and beating the Chargers tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
Now I think the Chargers win.
I mean,
Bears Lions game
Sunday, not tomorrow. Sunday.
Be careful with the Bears Lions game. The last time they played, it was a shootout in Detroit. It's going to be a colder game in Chicago, and I think Chicago's been playing better since they got their secondary healthy. It really started that game against the Commanders. Since they got their secondary healthy, their defense was better. So
but Chicago needs a win.
The Lions need to win bad.
Yeah, Lions went badly. They're gonna beat Chicago. I think they're gonna beat them by 7. I think they beat them by.
I don't know. I think I'm leaning towards the points. I wouldn't be again. I don't want to bet against the Lions because I think the Lions are the better team. But I can see the Bears keeping this game very close and then maybe losing 26-24.
I think the Bears just got too much talent. I mean the Lions have too much talent. I don't think the Bears can line up with them on both sides of the ball. I just think Detroit's a better prepared team, a better talented team, and a better coach team.
Vern, let me ask you a question. Because when I was writing the lines, there was a couple home underdogs that kind of stuck out to me.
Okay.
So we got Bears -3. You got Jets -3.5. You got Vegas. I think I know the answer to the question. Vegas -3 and Giants -6.5. Which one do you feel most comfortable about?
The Raiders. I got the Raiders outright.
Yeah, you got the Raiders. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Raiders outright winner. So ain't no way.
Yeah, there was a couple that, like I said, a couple home underdogs we got to pay attention to.
The Raiders.
There's that time of year.
I had the Raiders too. Yeah.
So just to recap, Will, you got Miami as your 401k. Vern got 49ers as 401k. We both agreed on Miami. We all agreed on Miami, but Vern just took a different team. And then I took a different team on top of that as well. I went with the Texans as my 401k. And then upset picks, Will and Vern both got Vegas. I'm taking the Eagles. Will, give me a final thought so we can wrap up the night.
Man, you know how I try to, steer a little left sometimes.
Hold on. We got to ask me a question that came in real quick.
Okay, hit it up.
He says, so have we all agreed Dan Campbell has proven himself? Vern, go ahead.
No, we have not agreed.
Dan Campbell? Who?
Lions head coach. Right
now.
Right now,
bite kneecaps.
Lions are in between, Look, if the Lions lose this week and the Packers win, we're back to the NFC North prediction that we had at the beginning of the season at the Packers winning, to be honest with you. So Dan Campbell hasn't done enough because they haven't really moved the needle. They've had winning seasons. They haven't had a playoff win yet. So if he can get to a playoff win, maybe we say, okay, he's going to be the coach here for the next 3 to 4 years, and we'll just give him his reins. But if they have they lose their next 3 out of 4 and they're just limping into the playoffs or just miss it, it's going to be, do we want to keep Dan Campbell around? So, no, not quite.
Will, what you think?
About that subject or my final thought?
No, that question. Have we agreed? Dan Campbell, has he proven himself?
I think he has. When you look at what other coaches around the league have done, I mean, there's coaches that have done more, but there's a lot of coaches that have done way less. You know what I mean? And I think all 3 of us, when he came into the league, we kind of were like, really, this dude? You know what I mean? But he's put some wins together where I can't call him a bum of a head coach. Is he great? No. Is he formidable? Yes. So, I think he belongs here. I think he takes on the personality of the city of Detroit, and I think the city of Detroit embraces him. So I think he belongs. I say he's got a spot here.
I'm gonna say I agree with Will. I think he has proven himself. You got to remember how bad the Lions organization was when he first got there, and that's why we laughed at them comments during the press conference. But last year they had a winning season. They went 9-8, right? And they just missed making the playoffs. This year they're 9-3, so they've already guaranteed themselves another winning season. Winning a playoff game would do great things for him. But when you look at how bad the Lion organization was before he got there, to now turn them into this, to be 9-3, leading your division, potentially have a shot at a top 2 seed in the NFC, I think he has proven himself. He's changed the culture. Then the next step after that is going to be, can he win some playoff games? But right now, I think he has proven himself.
Okay.
And King Max said the same thing in terms of rebuild that culture. Let's get to the final thought. Will, give me your final thought.
Mine, I go left when everybody else goes right. It's kind of it has nothing to do with sports. It's just what I've been doing lately the last few days. If any of y'all got HBO Max or what they call Max now, do y'all realize that every season of Martin is on this show? Like, because you know how me and Eric, we get into entertainment in the summertime and stuff like that. Every season of Martin is on this joint, and every season of The Wire is on this joint. Martin's my favorite all-time comedy, and The Wire is my favorite all-time cop drama, which is my real genre that I watch. I'm a cop drama guy, Chicago PD, Law and Order, SVU, and all that kind of, what I mean? I be getting into that heavy. But, because we don't do just sports here, we do life. But, Martin is on, every season of Martin is on Max. So y'all need to peep it.
Vern, give me a final thought.
Final thought is, if your quarterback can't score a touchdown, don't talk about my quarterback. Not only that,
this motherfucker talking to me. He talking to me right now.
He's talking directly to you.
Also,
he talking to me.
Also, we're gonna keep the parlays going hot. I'm gonna give you guys just 3 parlays. You could really simple parlays if you guys want to pair. You want to go ahead and go along with it. Right now, you can do Eagles plus 7.5, Houston Texans money, and the Houston Texans money line plus 109 odds. If you like that, simple. You can do Saints money line, they play the Panthers, and the Texans money line, that's plus 104. If you want to get a little bit more at a plus 126, you can do Raiders plus 7.5, Ravens money line in San Francisco at minus 5.5. I just gave you guys at least 2 out of 3 winners, and that was my final thoughts.
Hey, Vern, what was that you just shot at me?
You're done. It's final thought. You can't say you can't.
What was it?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it.
No, I gotta remember it though. Because I want to write it down.
I can't score a touchdown. Don't talk to him.
Yeah, I can't hear nothing.
Listen.
Hey, Vern. Hey, not to cut you off, Eric. I just want to ask one. This is my final thought, and this is directly to Vernon.
It's over. I'm not addressing anything you're gonna say.
Vernon.
Eric, what's your final thought?
No, Vernon.
Come on, Will. Come on, get to it. Come on.
Who would you rather have at quarterback, Justin Herbert or Sam Howell? No, I'm just saying. You gotta play tomorrow. You gotta play tomorrow. Who you want to play?
We're not doing that.
Come on, man.
We did that last week. We're not doing that. Final thoughts. First and foremost, man, I want to thank everybody who was in the comment section. The comment section was buzzing from like about 7:30. So we greatly appreciate you guys. We're gonna be back next week. We're gonna come up with a different topic for next week. We know Will, you and I gonna talk. It's gonna be either comedy or drama for next week, and then we'll just have the picks scrolling across the bottom screen. So we'll figure.
We're gonna do what?
We're gonna figure out either a comedy or a drama topic for next week.
Oh, shows?
So yeah. So we'll just have the picks
hell yeah.
Bottom of the screen. And then Vern, I'm gonna get with you. We need the picks. We need the picks for Sunday so we can post them up.
Yeah.
All of our picks will be posted up on Facebook and IG tomorrow evening. I'll make sure to post them up there so that way we can keep track of them that way. But as always, we appreciate you guys for taking the time to rock with us, man. You could be anywhere in the world on a Friday night, but you're here with us. Don't show that Wizards logo. It's not a great time right now. This is basketball.
I rep though. You know what I'm saying? I rep.
Yeah,
man.
I know you was hoping they made the in-season tournament too. It ain't happened.
Nah.
But nah, listen, fellas, we will be back next week, and we gonna cook up some new topics, man. For my brothers Vernon Brownlee, for my brother Will Gordon, I am Eric Sanchez. We are the opinionated ones, and we'll see you guys next week. We out of here.